But we got a podcast to record.
We do.
We got digs to be spoken about.
And we got players to mention that hopefully can get you as aroused as that.
Let's go. G'day. This is the Two Beards Wrexham Podcast, your go-to for all things Wrexham AFC. Join us as we chat about the highs and lows of our favourite footy club. She'll be right, mate. G'day, beard brethren, Sheilas, fuckheads, and just all-round legends. Welcome to another week. Yes, that's right, another week. The Two Beards Wrexham Podcast. In a week where some people said some dumb shit, we played a game, and everyone's jaws dropped at a certain Wrexham player who shall remain unnamed right now. But anyway, I'm your host, Rousey. That over there is Adrian, mate. And we were immortalized in Lego. Can you believe that? Can you believe this last week we saw ourselves in Lego form? I've got to admit that was it Ben on Twitter, I think he's Wookie something or other. I can't remember his apologize now. It's gone from
Ben
me.
Parker.
Ben Parker did us a solid and made us into Lego, which was amazing. What were your thoughts on that one?
Oh, sick. Like, I think sometimes I get really and me and Rousey go a bit of back and forth. I get a bit miffed whenever we try and talk ourselves up or look at us kind of thing. I don't like that. I don't want to be that kind of podcast. But then when I see shit like that happen, I'm like, it's not just look at me. Look at what this awesome thing that someone did for us. Like, that's really cool. And it means a lot to both Rousey and I that we even have people who want to contribute in artistic form, in monetary form, in just vocal form. They do it all. So Ben Parker, mate, thank you for the awesome Lego design. And if you haven't seen it, check out our socials. You can find us at Two Beards WXM. And if you have any of your own fan art, then feel free to send it through. But I want to talk about the little bit that happened after that one. You asked to get something else put in the Lego that wasn't in there. I just want you to just kind of expand on that to the listeners.
I cheekily, I had a chat with him. I'm like, because most of our listeners at this point will know my affinity to medicinal marijuana. Me being an advocate and user of medicinal marijuana myself, it is the shiz. I was like, hey, reckon you could get him holding a bong? That'll be fucking hilarious. And sure enough, he did it.
He did it.
He has your boy Rousey in Lego form, holding a Lego bong, and I was just like, mate, that's just top class. It's just straight class. I was yeah.
And the detail on it as well, you've got me looking angry at you, and it's just fucking week in, week out. It's the same thing. It's it's just crazy. You could put a still image of us on the podcast and be like, holy fuck, it's the same. It's just really well done by Ben. So no, I really, really enjoyed it. And I don't know, man. Football's back and Wrexham's back.
Football is back. Wrexham is back. Two Beards are back. We're no longer sick. We're back in our stride, so we're doing well. But first, we actually have a fans-only program. We got to get the housekeeping out of the way. We call our fans only our fuckheads or our fuckhead army. And that's because if you're in Australia and we pay you out, it normally means that we like you. So these guys, how do you become a part of it? You may ask. Links will be in the description down below. There'll be a separate link for our Patreon as well, just to make it nice and easy for you. Cost you base tier is $5 a month, gets you ad-free early access to the podcast every single week. You'll get it a day early. and gets you 10% discount off our merch, shout outs on the pod, giveaways in the Discord, and a whole lot more. We give a hell of a lot back just for $5 a month. So if you want to be a part of that little community, and it is a very, very fast growing community, and we are extremely proud of it, links will be in the description down below. But we got our shout outs to get out this week, and Adrian normally does that. He's a professional at it at this stage.
Yeah, you'd like to think so.
On, boy.
You'd like to think so, but I'm always forgetting someone at some point. So I'm going to start off with our newest fuckhead that we were stumbling on. We did mention it, but I do want to mention David. Thanks, mate, for joining us. He's actually a fellow Aussie. Fucking crazy that we have an Aussie that's part of the fuckheads. I think it's our first one that's not us, which is crazy, considering that we're, you'd think we'd have more Australians a part of it.
You could say Mark's Aussie.
Well, Mark's Aussie, yeah, he is, but he's from Wrexham, born and raised, and only been in Australia for probably a couple of years now. So, but want to mention that, David, mate, well done and welcome on in. To our second and third tiers, we have a very cool little Fuckheads Plus and Fuckheads Ultra. So Fuckheads Plus, you'll get an executive producer credit at the end of this. I was going to say stream at the end of this video. And then you're also going to get, if you get the Fuckheads Ultra, you can get every 6 months, a free piece of rolling merch. By that, I mean, every rolling 6 months, you get a free piece of merch, not that the merch will be rolling. So, Sarah, I'm pretty sure you're approaching real soon. So I'm really excited for you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you end up picking out. But Sarah, Jake, Anthony, Welsh, Techie, Bryant, Dan, we love you. We love you. We do. Our executive producers, welcome on in. And the rest of the Fuckhead gang, Drew, Mark, Deandra, Anthony R, John, Chris, Will, Andy and Aaron, Ryan, Rousey, Adrian. I think I nailed it this week.
You nailed it. I'd say
this week only.
Like you nailed it. Sounds like you
watch me fuck it up next week. It's funny, you'd think adding one name to it shouldn't make it harder, but it's because you start rolling off the tongue because you're used to there's certain people coming through. So when you get a new name that's and I've always usually got it in some sort of order, that it just kind of messes with my brain. But appreciate you all and welcome on in. And even if you don't want to be a part of it, who cares? Because you're still a fuckhead to us. In the end of the day, you're still one of our lovely listeners. So keep on listening through all our social media posts through Instagram as well. If you haven't followed us there, check us out. You can also go to twobeardsmedia.com.
Right on. Well, that was a good segment. So I guess we should probably start the fucking show.
Now.
We should probably get into it and talk about some stuff that is Wrexham related, because little birdie tells me we're a fucking Wrexham podcast.
What?
I know, right? Fucking mental.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's on my shirt. Anyways,
so after this, let's have a look at the Bournemouth game. Hey, that was a good one. All right,
good shit.
After the break, let's talk some Wrexham. So over in the US of A, they're apparently melting their little tushies off. They're worried about the heat. They're getting a bit hot for them. But our boys, we were treated with an absolute... it was a treat. We were treated with a treat. And it was a fucking amazing game. It was great to watch. It was on Paramount Plus for the Australians. Aussies, yep. And we will be getting into how Australians and internationals are able to stream the upcoming season. Because I did promise someone last week that reached out and was like, hey, how do we watch this? And I'm like, well, we will address it in this next podcast for everyone. So we're going to address that. But first,
just DM Rousey and he'll just get his iPhone out and just fucking film it for you.
iPhone? You fucking shitting me? No.
Oh, he's Android.
Mate. Samsung.
Oh.
Galaxy Fold.
Well, when Samsung folds, you'll probably need to change because, batteries explode and stuff. Anywho, we are a Wrexham podcast. We play Bournemouth. What's the news?
Okay, so started off. It was a 1-1 draw, so we got it completely fucking wrong with the predictions.
I mean, I take it as a win. It is the draw. I know everyone says it's just preseason, don't read into it. But that fucking cliche, and I hate it, but I'm going to use it. It was a tale of two halves, no fucking shit. But it was actually a tale of two halves with two separate 11s from Wrexham. We literally rotated out the entire fucking squad in that 60th minute, which just for me, that first half inspired me. That second half consolidated that. What did you think when we were, let's just say the Bournemouth possession was a little bit up on ours for most of the first half, but something happened towards the end. What were your feelings when they had a lot of that possession?
I just thought we played the game. I thought we went and stuck it to Bournemouth. A really fucking Premier League side. Look, I know it's a preseason friendly, but there is competitiveness around it. They did bring a full strength team. They did put out 90% of their Premier League side against us. So we were playing a Premier League fucking side. And we fucking stuck it to them. We made them look like they're on our level or we were on their level, whichever way you want to look at it.
Well, that's a good point.
Please, and if we're going to bring that sort of attitude and fervor into League One, we're going to be fucking all right.
Mm-hmm. No, agreed.
There's no beating around the bush on that one. It's called a spade, right?
Yeah.
I know it's a preseason friendly, but the fact is we played we played everyone.
We played 22 players.
22 players, and we held them to a fucking draw, and we almost got one at the death.
Yep.
You can't against a Premier League side. Now, if we back that up with Chelsea, and we will talk about Chelsea in a bit, then we're going to be fucking all right. We're going to be holding our own in League One. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, look, there is something to take from it. Obviously, we've all said it in the fuckheads chat during the game. The Discord went a bit crazy, which was awesome. Everyone was posting, everyone's talking about how I don't think there was a negative thing said about anyone. It was just a really well-rounded performance. I do want to make mention of some first half, display, which so Louis Brunt, which you want to call Blunt, I know. Blunt. Yeah. But him and James McLean for me were the standouts in that first half because Louis just showed how much he really wants to be there. Now, I'm really hoping he did play first half, but I just remember him being incredible. There was a lot of changes, so I can't remember who was on which half, but I'm pretty sure it was first half, especially with McLean. But I love the way that Parky put out a mixed age group in both 11s because he could have easily put the same starting 11 that he would have put last season in first and then just let the kids play around. He didn't do that. He put some of the newbies with people like Marriott, who's I guess technically a newbie, up front with Dolby, who shone. Even in last episode, Rousey was talking about people who are going to go out on loan and who are going to go here. And he mentioned Dolby going wherever, saying possibly some negatives. But at the same time, I'm hoping it made you have a little bit of a look at him. It's one game, of course, but I was really inspired by the fact that we had Marriott and Dolby up front, and I'm like, that's probably our worst combo. Not in a rude way, but it probably is. And they stood on their own 2 feet. They were way better than I thought. And then we came out with the second half and we replaced them with fucking Stephen Fletcher and Ollie Palmer, who, again, you would consider to be ancient, older, possibly slower movers. Yes, Ollie's probably passing was a little off. But other than that, those boys ran harder than anyone. And again, standouts in that second half. I am thoroughly impressed by this Wrexham mentality that Parky's brought, which is let's mix them all together and go, you know what, let's put a different 11 out in two separate, at the 60th minute mark, bring out another lot of 11. And then we had people like Seb coming out. Seb was just superb on that left side.
Seb looked exciting.
Oh.
And Dobby, mate.
Dobby,
Some
my
of
mate.
his blocks that there was a thunderous kick coming from one of the Bournemouth players, and he jumped right in front of that. And
Yep.
the accuracy he had to block that, not only block it, but send it back out and send it back out to a player as well was just, I mean, look, Dobby looked fucking on it. I'm excited to see him play.
Best signing.
He's starting 11 for me as far as I'm concerned.
Bro, and just the sheer not animosity, because that sounds like but hey, didn't he get a yellow?
Yeah, he got a yellow.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like,
McLean didn't.
Yeah, well, like that's what I mean. It's just crazy when you've got, I don't know, it just felt right to have him out there. It's a preseason friendly, but he's got something to prove. He's come into a side that's already clicking. He's probably made friends, no problem, but it's not about that. It's about what's clicking on the pitch. And you can easily just walk into a side and then get paid the big bucks. I mean, I don't know how much he's getting paid, but get paid a little bit more than some players who probably have been there for a little bit. And you can easily feel a bit like, well, fuck it, I'll just do whatever I want. And he didn't. He just went out there, followed Parky's plan, and just looked at home. And both of us said it last week, and I'll say it again, best signing we've made this entire transfer window. Dobby is someone who has the leadership and the capacity to jump the leagues with us, and that's what we want. We can't be having players, unfortunately, we let go of people who couldn't move the leagues with us. Tozer, Young. We've got people who've come in who I thought, I can't love them like I loved them. Holy shit, bro. You can't tell me I don't love Dobby. I'm already fallen in love with the bloke. And, it's one game. He might have an absolute shithouse game next week, but we are so lucky that we are Wrexham, who are on the map now, who have the owners that we do, to have the coaching capacity. And I know there's been a bit of things we'll talk about later, which has made people a little sad and upset. And actually get why. But people who've been here well before us, 30, 40, 50, 60, some of them 70, 80 years before us, mate, in terms of being a Wrexham fan, have endured some shit. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. I've never been so optimistic about a Wrexham side, mate. I am fucking
So are we feeling promotion yet?
Mate, look, as I've said, top 10 is where I'm hoping for. I would love to be in that top half of the table, but shit, dude, you can't, it just can't not get excited. You got to see what we're coming up against. Birmingham's has spent more than 22 out of the 24 championship sides. That get that through your heads. A League One side who went down, have gone, shit, we need to spend big here. So they spent more than 22.
Do you reckon they're relying on a parachute payment there and using that? Or because surely there's financial fair play got to be coming into it at some stage?
Well, no. It's a little different because financial fair play really, and I know it sounds silly because it can happen at any league and you've seen it happen at any league, but they're not spending that much. They're not spending Premier League money because there is a big gap in disparity.
Doesn't scare me one bit.
Well, it shouldn't.
Look at England, for instance, right?
Oof.
Plenty of talent all over the pitch, like billions of dollars worth of talent on the pitch for England. Plays shit. Right? Loses again. Right? They cannot fucking put it together because they're not a team. Essentially, you're risking that with what Birmingham are doing and with what Rotherham are doing. They've gone up and they've literally changed the face of their whole side.
Yep.
And so in some cases, they've got a new gaffer as well. It's going to be a bit of a process in getting them up and running. Now, that doesn't mean they probably won't get it together and be competitive towards the second part of the season, but they're taking a risk changing that much. And you see it all the time. You can spend all that money. You can have all that talent. But if you can't put it together as a team, the way Wrexham do,
Mm.
it's going to fucking fall apart.
Well, I could give you two examples. That is a very good point. There's two examples that we all experienced watching League Two last season, right? We look at Stockport. Stockport spent the most, if not equal to what Wrexham spent, right? The rumor is they spent more, but there's all everyone's arguing. No, we didn't. We didn't buy the league. Anyways, no disrespect to Stockport. This is how you have to do it, unfortunately. It's modern football. It's just the way it is. But you're right, it's a risk. Those first couple games, everyone was like, oh, look at Stockport and Wrexham. They spent all this money and they look like twats. Bang. Both teams clicked. Both teams got it together. Both teams got automatic promotion. You could probably say the same for Mansfield, but they probably spent a lot less. Then you look at the other end of the coin, which didn't succeed, and you're looking at Gillingham. The Gillies, they spent, I wouldn't say as much, but they spent a lot of money that they probably were hoping would come back to them by moving up a league. And they had assumed, and you would have assumed in the first half of the season, holy shit, these guys, I said they were automatic promotion favourites, league favourites even. I was like, yep, 100%.
We all had them up there.
And they didn't even, I don't even think they made playoffs. So it's one of those things where you just look at that kind of investment. It is a gamble. Modern day football is a gamble. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how less money. We've seen people like Luton climb the leagues with no money. We've seen the opposite where teams like Leicester, who've got, they've been bought out. They were owned by Malaysian investors, big billionaires, and they couldn't stay in the Premier League. And again, different leagues, different stories. It's all a gamble. At the end of the day, it is. Rotherham and Birmingham, they could be auto promotion, and all of a sudden we're just like, oh shit, this isn't great. But at the end of the day, it's a gamble and a risk. And if you get stuck, even Wrexham to an extent, if we get stuck, maybe going, let's say we went back down, worst case scenario, that's a loss. And a big loss, because you spent money on these players, assuming not that you would go up automatically straight away, but that you would stay in this league, and it's League One or above. Whereas Birmingham and Rotherham are going, it's championship or bust. That's what they're doing right now. I'm very excited about how Wrexham are playing it, because they're not doing that. If they did do championship or bust, we'd go straight back down, because it's a gamble, and no one wants that.
You heard Dobby in the post-match interview talking about how he's settling into the side, and his one of the things he said that really stood out to me was that every man here plays for each other and plays for the badge. Now, that's worth more than money can any amount of money. And when you've got a bunch of blokes playing for each other and playing for the badge, you cannot discount that. That shit will get you far, and it's not to be underestimated. And I'm excited, because we're going to be going into League One with that sort of mentality. It's going to be a good season ahead. I know that much. So
exciting.
But we need to be able to watch every single game. And so I know we've getting a few of our international fans got some questions. We had some questions in the comment section last week about how we're going to watch. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of a breakdown.
Love it.
So if you are an international fan, all right, if you're an international fan, we'll say, just if you're an Australian fan, you can go to the website, go to wrexham.co.uk, link or thing down below, wrexham.co.uk. And if you go and you sign up for an account there and you log in, you'll see something that says manage subscriptions. Click on that and you'll see the access to the season subscription. It costs $266 Australian for the whole season. That gives you access to every single league game, even if it's televised. Right? If it's on Sky Sport, it will still be available internationally on iFollow through the Wrexham website, and soon to have a Wrexham app, which I'm told is they're trying to get out before the start of the before the start of the season, before the Wycombe Wanderers game. So that's the best way. You want to see every single EFL game, League One. If you're an international fan, go to the website, find the link there. You can actually pay per game as well. They'll have individual game subscriptions, or you can pay $266 for the season and get access to all the games. Now, that doesn't include Carabao Cup, that doesn't include EFL Trophy, and that does not include the Emirates EFL FA Trophy. All right. You want to watch the Emirates FA Trophy?
FA Cup.
That will be on Optus Sport.
FA Cup.
On Optus Sport.
FA Cup.
The FA Cup. Yeah. Sorry. The FA Cup. You want to watch the FA Cup? That'll be on Optus Sport. They have the rights to it this season. Get yourself an Optus Sport subscription. I get mine because I'm a member of Optus.
Same.
Now, the Carabao Cup will most likely be on Optus. Some rounds will be on Optus, and some rounds will be on Paramount Plus. Just depends what Paramount Plus have the rights to. But basically, you've got three avenues. You've got the website, you've got Paramount Plus, and you've got Optus Sport. Now, if it's not being on the televised website, it'll be on either of those other two. So there you go. That's how you watch it. If you're an Australian fan.
Well done. Well, look, a little shout out because as I love our Aussies. I love all of our fans. International, doesn't matter where you're from, America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, UK, obviously, or Wales. We've got lots of locals, which just makes me so happy because I was so worried the locals would hate us. Anywho, it's great to be embraced. And you know who's embraced? The Americans. They fucking embrace the shit out of this. They've got a 4-year deal with the EFL and CBS Sports. Now, I'm just going to list off what this gets them. CBS Sports will air at least 250 EFL matches each season across the Championship, League One, League Two, Carabao Cup, Bristol Street Motors Trophy beginning in August and continuing through the end of the 2027 and 28 season. Matches will also air on Paramount Plus for the Americans as well, with select matches airing on CBS Sports Network and CBS Sports Galazzo Network. With 1,891 fixtures each season, the EFL is home to some of the most respected, popular, and successful football competitions, as we know. What's crazy about this is the EFL is ranked as the highest attended league body in Europe with 21.5 million fans going through the turnstiles. What they're trying to do, though, is get 400 million across 182 territories. That's fucked. Like that's crazy because I hate this whole thing of like a lot of people in the AFL like, yeah, it was always going to happen, other AFL clubs. Oh, it was always on the cards. Be real. If Wrexham wasn't a part of it, that deal doesn't happen. And I used to feel like Wrexham shouldn't take, too much credit to a lot of things. We have to be respectful to all people in the AFL. Fuck that. That has not been signed on the dotted line unless Wrexham was in it. If Wrexham was still somewhere in the National League, that doesn't occur. So I'm really, really just proud of the way the club's handled it. They're not boasting. They're not doing it. We can do that for them. We're fans. We can boast for the club. But they've been cordial about it. And people are getting mancy.
Even in general, the EFL is gaining massive popularity. There is a lot of eyes at the moment. I think some of it might be down to a bit of negative publicity around Manchester City. But there is a lot more popularity that English football is getting, and it is amazing to see. It was really, really good to see. But with that increased popularity comes a lot of negativity, and there has been some of it flying around. I do have to give my numpty of the week really, really quick. We're going to touch this.
Rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, I'm going to give my numpty of the week, and then we're going to go to a break. Then we're going to talk about the rest, all right? So some people say some stupid shit when they're drunk. right? I said some stupid shit. Numpty for the week is not meant to be one of those things that it's just meant to be a light-hearted joke, right? So it's not meant to be seen as an attack on anyone,
No.
right? My numpty of the week goes to Rosie Hughes. Rip the band-aid right off there. That girl needs some media training. Now, I just look. My takeaway from that is a lot of people like defending Wrexham. How dare you say that? What, you don't respect us because we don't respect Wrexham, all that sort of shit. Look, she had an absolute stonker. She fucked it big time, right? I just think that you got a girl who does have an ego. You have to have an ego to be as successful as what she is. But she sounded like she was a bit sauced, and sounded like she was excited by the moment and got wrapped up in the moment and wanted to appeal to the American fans because that was an American interview going out to American TV. It just so happened that people were able to grab it, screen cap it, and put it out online. And sure enough, a lot of people jumped on her. It went nuts. People calling for her head. I just say, calm your farm just a little bit, right? Just calm your tits. The girl had an absolute fucking stonker of an interview, completely fucked it up because she got overexcited. That's my point of view on it. But you still get numpty because you basically ripped into Wrexham, and I highly recommend maybe some media training might go a long way there. So, numpty of the week, Rosie Hughes.
Well, after the break, I'd love to have my say on this one. So
I have your say now because we're going to break and then we're going to talk about other shit.
You said we're going to talk about it after the break, you cunt.
I like keeping you on your toes. Come on, give it to me.
Well, I'm going to take my time because I'm not rushing. So basically, the way that it has been put to the media, there are two sides of the coin. There is, you are a guest at a club. Yes, you're being paid, but you're semi-professional. You're a guest in a town. You're allowed an opinion. But when you are representing a club, country, you represent, and if I went to my workplace and I went out to the media and even I said something about my workplace, I would be fired. Now, that's just the reality of it all. So when people are calling for a head, I'm not saying we should be doing that at all. It is a learning opportunity. People make mistakes. It is a learning opportunity. But the people who are saying, oh, harden up, why are you so offended? You have no right. Unless you are born and raised in Wrexham, you have no right to have an opinion on being offended or being hurt by the things said by it. Because at the end of the day, you and I can talk till the cows come home about what we think is right and what we think is wrong. But we're not from Wrexham. We love Wrexham. We are Wrexham till we die. We have tattoos on our chest and on our arms for this club. But we would not, if I was to say to a Wrexham person, harden up, don't get offended by it. No, that is just not on. So the people who are doing that can shut the fuck up. The second side of the coin is exactly what you said. Let's all just calm down at the end of the day, not in feeling a certain way. You're allowed to feel what you feel. But it's like, when you tell a kid, don't react in the moment, take some time to count down. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying, give it some time to breathe, possibly allow her to come out with an apology. I fucking hope she does. If she doesn't, then that's another problem. But
that'll be another numpty.
Yeah, but give her time to come out with an apology. Give her time to do that because she will have to. The club won't. I mean, if the club knows what's good for them, they'll make her do it. But at the end of the day, she's semi-professional. She's not trained in it. She's not brought up in a professional environment. She's never been. I mean, she's been in America for the TST, but she's never been in front of the media in that regard before. Everyone's said things and put their foot in their mouth. Me and Rousey have said things to each other that we, wish we never said. But it's, life moves on.
Oh, you wouldn't believe how much shit hits the cutting room floor with the stuff we got to cut out in this podcast. Like,
But I love,
fuck me.
but I think that's a very good point. Is we can cut it out in a live interview or an interview that's out of the club's hands. There is no cutting room floor. So I've also heard another rumor that she's also said some things that are a lot worse, just in the public, out of the public eye. And here's the thing. You're allowed to say what you want behind closed doors, but the minute you represent the club, you can't. So that's my biggest opinion on it. You go out, you represent this town, this club, and then you can say you have to do exactly like, even if you don't like it, even if you don't want to say it, you kind of have to. It's like, it's a job. You, Rousey, would have to do it. I would have to do it. Why every one of our listeners who is working would have to do it. So why can't you? That's just my take. I've been Adrian. I'll see you next week.
Well, on that note, we will go to an ad break and then we'll come back and we will discuss some more stuff to do with Wrexham. We've got some good stuff coming up. So let's go to an ad break, and after this, let's go. Woo. All right. So we've gotten that out of the way. We've got some good news out of the way. We're versus Chelsea next.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, baby. Chelsea is coming up. Now, last preseason, we got absolutely stomped. 5-0. That stung. That hurt to watch. But our boys are playing a little bit differently this preseason.
Mm-hmm.
They're quite up and about. James McLean with an awesome corner kick from the last one. I love that. But can we do the same against Chelsea? Now, we don't have Pochettino coaching Chelsea. They'll have a new head coach.
Pochettino.
I don't even know the dude's name who they've appointed.
Fucked if I know. Fucked if I know. I'll be honest, mate. My actual attention span for the Premier League is so fucking little. Like, I just despise it at the moment. And I think if Wrexham ever gets there, then I'll be like, obviously invested. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, bigger fish to fry. Let's take League One.
So, Enzo Maresca is the new Chelsea gaffer.
Where did he coach before? Was he the Brighton coach?
Let's have a quick look at him. He started at West Brom.
Yep.
He's come from he's come from AC Milan. So he did AC Milan. His last managerial season, he did 1 year at Leicester City. So he's done 1 year at Manchester City EDS. He's done 1 year at Parma. He's done 1 year at Leicester City, and now he's at Chelsea. That doesn't sound good. Chelsea had Lampard,
mate.
With their track record with gaffers, yeah, that sounds good. I think we could, if we go out, look, put that aside. If we go out, if we give them a good performance and we do not lose 5-0 like we did last year, I'm going to see that
improvement.
Huge. If we get another 1-0 draw or even a 2-1 win, I'll be even more impressed.
Yeah, 1-1 draw would be good. Like, I mean, my guess has changed. I think we guessed last week for the Chelsea. I can't remember, but my biggest prediction for this one is I genuinely think we can score against them. I think we've shown it. I know that was technically an own goal against Bournemouth, but we've shown that we can do it at the kind of like when plays against us, when the possession is on the other team, absolutely dominating possession, we can kind of absorb that and then make the counter and make the attack. So look, I'm not saying we will beat Chelsea. I don't think it's feasible just at this point in time. We're definitely not losing 5-0. I mean, famous last words, cut to the Curb Your Enthusiasm music when we lose 10-0. But I think we will probably lose like 3-1. I think I guessed that for against Bournemouth, that we'd lose 3-1. But now I'm like, okay, now I know where we are. I think we score. I don't know if we win. I think it'll be one of those ones where, kind of like how the women have been playing in the US. I mean, a bit different. They're getting slaughtered at the moment in terms of score, but I mean, there's a big difference in teams. But you know how they've scored like both times? Like it was like, what did they lose? 9-1 or something? 6-1? Like they lost like a big one, but they scored. I'm not saying we can. Yeah, I'm not saying we concede that much. I'm just saying probably score, and I think it'll be 3-1. What about you?
Oh, okay. So Chelsea have been in a world of turmoil yet again. They just can't seem to get away from the shit.
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff going around about some new deal that a lot of other clubs are against at the moment. They're saying, how the hell does this happen? All that sort of stuff. I don't know too much about it, but anyway, they're in the drama yet again, and they got an unproven manager who basically did a year at Leicester City and now is managing Chelsea. And now, look, if we can go out, and I reckon we do a good showing again. I reckon if Scottish Viking Jesus, aka Fletcher, is able to not put one down the throat of the goalie like he did last time, actually fucking line it up and put it in the bottom left corner, which he should have done. He should have done that. I mean, you're one-on-one with the keeper. You do not put it down the keeper's throat. But that's what he did. And I know it was a split-second decision. It's a sporting thing, but you need to be sort of as the best thing about that is that he put himself in that position. It is really hard to get yourself into that position and not be called offside.
Shit.
Right? So he got himself into that position, and it was fucking amazing that he did. And he brought the ball down with absolute precision. He just needed to finish it off, and he didn't do that.
Just a bit of hate, mate. I think, I mean, the game at Chelsea, against Chelsea, sorry, I think it's going to be a little bit later in the day, so it'll be a little cooler. I think it's technically a night game. I can't remember, but it'll be a little bit cooler from what I hear. And look, mate, what do you? I want to know what you're thinking, like, because you're thinking he's going to put one through. But what do you think the scoreline is? Because I'm thinking we lose 3-1. What are your thoughts?
1-0 to Wrexham.
Hey, mate, I will love it. And you know what? I think what I love about these preseason games is anything can happen. Like if this was FA Cup, all right, we're probably not
just
winning.
Take a leaf out of Southgate's book, score 1 goal, Parkalibus. All you got to do, just fucking
or don't do anything until there's added time.
Yeah.
And then just steal it and absolute like a robbery against Slovakia. I still cannot believe Slovakia, man, they're this close, couple minutes away from just this close. Anyways.
But still, I'm going to call a 1-0 victory.
I like that. I like that because it is anything can happen in these preseason games. And I know people go, oh, but we shouldn't care and we shouldn't get upset either. And I agree. We shouldn't get upset. We shouldn't get too excited either.
Well, come on, guys. Okonkwo is looking like he's looking at peace now. He's found his home, right? He's looking
very zen.
He's looking on it. And
except for the goal we conceded against Bournemouth. He just saw it go past like, fuck. Not much he could have done to be real.
He was not stopping that. He was not.
I mean, I don't know. I just would have loved a bit of effort, but I guess he was just like, it's hot. Fuck this. He's like, I'm not diving. I'm not going to pretend I could have got it.
But Callum Burton looked impressive too. He looked like he was commanding his goal as well. So we've got 2 very solid goalkeepers, what it looks like. And look, to be fair, like they're both really, really great. And we all know Okonkwo keeps clean sheets for days. So maybe we do step it up a little bit and we see how we go. But it's really hard to guess in a preseason match, but I would love it to be 1-0.
Especially with the unlimited subs, mate. Like that's the fucking thing that throws us. Like, fucking 11 subs.
Had we got Mullen, we would have been more.
Yeah.
But the one thing I'm not hopeful for is the women's side right now. That's a little painful.
Yeah, I mean it's
first one 9-0. 9-0.
And then 6-1 today.
Like, if you're going 4-0 down or 3-0 down, and you know you're not going to get a win, fucking park the bus. Just put everyone in the goal square and say fucking get past us. I don't know. Do something.
It's hard.
9-0.
It's hard, mate. But and someone made a very good point in the fuckheads. It's like, what was it? It was an American who said it, so I'm just paraphrasing. And he said, what did he say? He said, because we don't do much right, but we do women's soccer right. Like they're very good at it. And he's right. Like women's soccer in the US is at another level.
That was true.
Drew. We talked about it with the Eat More Chips boys. We talked about that when we talked about how it's hard for a Wrexham women's team, for the Welsh women's team to grow when you've got semi-professional players or players who are probably playing in that Adran Premier League who maybe, are kind of at a very, very different level to, the NWSL or the Women's English League, English Premier League, or whatever it's called. But it's just crazy.
I get it. And it's great that we can go against opposition, which are more than what we faced at the moment, probably a better quality than Cardiff or Swansea. But I just worry about how much you learn off a 9-0 loss or a 6-1 loss or whatever that last game was as well.
Yeah, like, the El Tigre game was a bit of an improvement. I mean, 6-1 against one of the top Mexican sides in male and female teams. Again, I think you're right. I don't know what we were trying to achieve from it. I think it was mainly for PR. And that's now I'm starting to think, and it's awful, but I think it's one of the reasons they aren't telecasting the women's games is because they don't want to broadcast thumpings and they don't want to be seen as a club who gets stomped on, but they do want the headline of, hey, Wrexham went to Portland. Hey, Wrexham went to LA.
Oh, look, yeah, and I put out a tweet during the week.
I know.
Which got a lot of traction.
I love when he does this. No one loves Rousey more than Rousey, and I fucking love it.
I got to beat myself off every now and again, so I'm just like fucking I'm looking at this shit going on, and I was like, well, this is, I just feel for it. Like, regardless of whether, the status, how many viewers they get, all that sort of stuff, women's football as a whole is fighting for ascendancy.
100%.
Worldwide, women's football is fighting for ascendancy. It's on the up. It's getting more eyes on it. You're getting more superstars coming through that are women. To not have a stream of a Wrexham game, in particular a Wrexham women's game, is like, maybe you're right. Maybe they did know that they were, they're probably going to get pantsed, so they're not going to stream it. But it's still got that fan base. It's still got the loyal people that want to see them play, myself included.
Me too.
I want to be able to see them play. I want to see them improve. I want to be a part of their journey.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we're a part of the men's first 11 journey, going through the leagues. We're a part of that. We're getting behind them. We want that for the women. And this is a big historic moment for the women. No Wrexham side has ever gone to the US, ever played outside of Wrexham. They really can.
Outside of the UK.
Yeah, so it's like, come on, like, do something for a stream. Now, I have heard that they actually did try. I think they approached 6 companies to try and get it done, and they couldn't get it done. Why couldn't they get it done, though? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know the logistics behind it. All I'm saying is it's a damn shame that it didn't happen. And I'm not blaming the club for that. That's not the club's fault. I think it sounds like it was something external, but it's just a shame that it didn't happen in general. And I would have loved to have seen them play for the first time in the US against
even just for the one game. Even just the one game. Like, I mean, we saw the Wrexham effect in the National League. They had no broadcasts. I mean, they did have broadcasts, but it wasn't as easily accessible internationally and we saw the National League kind of do it overnight. And, we saw some of the shittest coverage you've ever seen. You've seen cameras looking at the fucking sun, and we're just like overexposed blobs walking around. I know, because America is like big on the sports filming and even just filming in general, especially in that LA area, but they could have just done that. They could have just done a shitty broadcast stream. I can watch, and this is just a very big example here. I can watch the club I used to coach last season, Para Hills Knights. I can watch them in the, what do they call it? The National Premier League SA, so the South Australian National Premier League. So there's National Premier League WA, National Premier League Victoria. It's the second division to the A-League, right? I can watch them on a person with a little swivel handy cam that's live, and it's to YouTube, and it's live, and hundreds of people, only a couple hundred people watch that every weekend. And you're talking about people where there's attendances of 10 people. So the demand isn't as there as that. And I know I'm just comparing it. I know logistics and rights and all that bullshit is a bit hard, but especially the first game, I think there could have been something done. I genuinely think Ryan and Rob have been very vocal when we were in the National League about making sure that things are televised and things like that. I'm not saying for a preseason game it was a necessity, but geez, it would have been nice if someone just went, you know what, I'm going to push for this. I'm going to get a company that I work with, Maximum Effort could have done it, which is what Ryan Reynolds' production company. I don't know, just someone with a fucking camera, go out there, stream it to YouTube. You tell YouTube that you've got the backing of Deadpool and Mac from Always Sunny. Fucking hell, you're going to get YouTube on board, you get Twitch on board, you get anyone on board to stream it. It could have been done.
Yeah, just go up on top of a roof with a camera.
Like an iPhone.
Yeah, an iPhone if you want to be, or a Samsung or something with good internet access. Just go sit up on a roof and hit record and just be that dude. Just don't take anything up that looks like a gun, and you'll be fine. So
yeah, I mean that's probably another thing is roofs and anyways, there's just these things.
I wanted to know where you were going to go with that.
We digress. We look at a very, very successful trip. Will it exhaust the boys? That's my question to you. The boys, the girls, we already know they're already been run off their feet at the moment, but they've got easier competition. We've got a very hard competition to come back home to. Do you think this might affect stamina in the first 5 matches?
No, I think they're going to help. I think it's going to help them because they've actually done it right this time. They've timed it right. Cool. They come back. They've got time for a preseason game against Fleetwood. We've got the Whitecaps to come on the weekend, and then the boys will be home. So, look, it's looking really, really good. We do need to give a prediction for the Whitecaps, though.
Well, yeah, because this will be, you're right. Fuck. Oh, this is a good one. This is a really good one. Now, is this the same as what happened last year where it's the fucking, what was it? LA Los Dos? Remember? It was the number 2. Yeah. Los Dos was the 2 team. Is it the 2 team of the Vancouver, or is it the number 1 team?
I believe it's the number 1 team by the looks of it.
That's good. That's really good. I'm going to go with 2-0 Wrexham.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's a good prediction.
Well, if it's the Vancouver senior side, they've played 30 matches or some shit. Like they've played however many matches already. They're probably spent. It's now summer. It's a bit hot. Now you've got a bunch of boys who we have 2 11s who could pretty much run out on the park against the side who may be match ready for the first couple of minutes, but they're going to fatigue and we're going to have so many subs. It's not going to be funny. So I think we win 2-0. How about you?
4-1.
Ooh, bit of fun, that one. I love a game like that because it's just usually
outside the box. 4-1. I reckon we'll see a goal from Ollie Palmer. We might see 2 from Marriott and 1 from Fletch.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Or 1 from McLean as well. We'll see how that goes. But I'm reckon 4-1 will be pretty good.
I'm calling a Dolby double.
That'll be a good end to the Wrexcoast tour. And then, it looks like it's fucking stinking hot over there. But I think it'll be a good end to the Wrexcoast tour. So let's go with that. We got so predictions for Chelsea. I've gone with 1-0. You've gone with a 3-1 loss. And obviously with the Whitecaps coming up, I've gone with a 4-1. And you've gone with what was it? 2-0. 2-0. Okay, nice.
Clean sheet.
Clean sheets today. So righto. After this, we're going to wrap things up. We're going to talk some shit. And then we're going to finish off the podcast for the other week. And we come back next week with our predictions, which we'll talk about shortly. Let's go. Woo! Well, that is it for another week of the Two Beards Wrexham podcast. I'll tell you what, this has been so good seeing our boys getting back into it.
Good to see football.
Back into it, playing some football. They look like they are absolutely roasting over there. I've got no sympathy for that shit because in most of the year we're fucking living on the surface of the sun.
Get out of my head. That was literally the comment I was about to make. Yeah. Well done. We literally live on the surface of the sun, guys. We look at me. Look at me.
Do. And it is a different type of heat.
Ginger. Oh, I die every day in summer. Like every day. I am out there with an umbrella and a skivvy and like glasses and shit. And I'm like, fucking. And
you would be fucked if you came to Western Australia.
Mate, I've visited West Australia. My cousins and my grandfather live there. So I've been over many a time and I have been many a sunburnt. So don't worry. But I'm in South Australia where it's one of the driest states. That's what she said. But it is hot. It is hot as balls here. So what I think is really funny though, do you ever watch the movie Benchwarmers?
No.
It's like a comedy. I think Rob Schneider did it. Anyways, they have a character who's like allergic to the sun and he just eats sunscreen. And like, that's just going to be me. Like if I was over there, like, I don't know if you've seen that photo of Wayne with Rob. So Wayne from the Turf, I
saw that. Has he been rocking some G's and fucking making a tan or what?
Yeah, but he's absolutely sunburnt to shit.
Sorry, I have to de-Aussify that because we do have an international audience that really, and half the time when we're doing this, we actually have to de-Aussify what we're saying because if we do go full Aussie, no one will understand what the fuck we're saying. He's got a tan line and it looks like he's wearing a G-string or was wearing one of those high-waisted G-strings and it's actually tanned through. So that's what I mean. When he's got a G-banger on, he's been rocking it out.
I didn't look that hard. You're so very observant of the pelvis area.
He looks like he needed to jump into an ice bath with Elliot Lee. Speaking of which.
Oh, fuck. Here we go. I'm out. I'm done. We're not doing this. It was a great podcast. It was awesome. We've had a great time. Thank you so much for a great one. I'm leaving.
No, we are going there right now because a little thing came out on social.
I don't think it was a little thing, mate.
Anyway. It definitely wasn't little. Fuck me dead. This dude, Elliot Lee, like we make fun of Elliot Lee's Elliot Lee because that's his tag.
There is a restraining order with your name on it, mate.
I know, but that thing, right? Okay, so that we've got a little thing. So we've got a little thing going around that looks like that, right? Looks like that.
If you're listening, he's just put up Elliot Lee when he was half-mast during. I think it was. I can't remember what game. But
Elliot Lee, you can clearly see the outline of it.
Why? This is actual sexual objectification right now.
I know you're going to fucking shut up and you're going to listen, right? You're going to listen to this and then I'll give you your input if you want to do input. But anyway, so you see the outline of it. Now, he's big, right? Clearly he's big, and quite impressively so. And this thing
We're
came
not
out.
doing this.
This thing came out with Elliot Lee. He was in an ice bath. Now, for men, if you're in an ice bath, typically your todger just gets a little bit fucking small, right? Just a little bit small. This dude is just like,
why do you have that on hand?
Like, look at that. Look at that. That's a package and a half, right?
Honestly, mate, Elliot, if you're going to do the restraining order, do it to Chris Rouse. All right, Chris Rouse, not Two Beards, because I am not a part of it. Chris Rouse.
You are a part of Two Beards, excuse me, motherfucker.
Well, no, I'm a part of Two Beards, but this segment is not Two Beards. This is Rousey's sexual objectification of one of our players.
So Elliot Lee in an ice bath, still got a massive Elliot Lee, and everyone's jaws just dropped. Now, I don't care if you're a man or a woman or
don't say child,
something in between, right? That's impressive. And I'm extremely jealous. That dude is a good-looking man, and he's got a big package. And I think just about half of the women that follow Wrexham, or probably all the women that follow Wrexham, will just fall over him, and maybe some of the men as well. Wow, that was good. That was a good.
How was that good? Post. How the fuck was that good? Honestly, I'm going on my rant. This is bullshit. We are a podcast where we are trying to have fucking integrity, talking about football and the club that we love. Now, I'm going to flip it here, straight up. Flip the roles here. If you put up one of Wrexham women team up there, everyone with pitchforks out, everyone would be on your ass. We'd be cancelled quicker than you can say Rousey's fucking numpty of the week. Literally, we would be cancelled. But because you're talking about Elliot Lee, it's all just fun and games, is it? Until we get the restraining order. Now, hi, I'm Adrian. I'm not a solicitor, but if you want to fund the fucking bullshit restraining order on this man here right in front of us, I will back it and I will match your donation by 50%. So whatever you put in, I will match it by 50%. Okay. So you put it towards it and get a solicitor for it. I will help match this to get this restraining order in place. Elliot, if you're watching, mate, I'm all here for you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You might have some like uncharted feelings there that you haven't quite addressed. I mean, you're getting quite worked up over a Todger. I mean, admit it, you would love to have something that big.
I haven't seen
that big.
I haven't seen you this worked up over a Todger or excited about a Todger since you found yours about a week ago. Like,
I still haven't found mine. What are you talking about?
Christ almighty.
It's okay, Adrian, mate. It'll all be fine. You just gotta be comfortable in your own skin. You gotta understand these things. It's okay for a man to look at another man's dick and think that's a big dick.
Oh, I'm for that, mate. I'm all for that. Am I for it on a podcast about Wrexham where the club may or may not see it and players may or may not find out? Well, that's on you. So, Elliot Lee, if you are watching, my friend, I'm so fucking sorry. Because I've said this many a time. I'll make a joke about it in-house with him. We'll have a laugh. We'll have an absolute laugh till the cows come home. But if I see it in this fucking podcast where it goes public, live, and he wonders why Patreon want us to be ranked as adult content. He's like, what do you mean adult content? And then next episode, he brings up dicks. Crazy.
Well, Elliot Lee, I'm not sorry. You should be sorry that you're rocking that size of dick. I mean, fuck me, Dad. That is huge. After an ice bath too. Wow. Okay.
I love how he has to have the last word on it. Just fucking let it die.
All right. So next week we are doing our prediction episode.
Prediction, is it?
Prediction. Yeah. Yep. Another form of dick, but yeah. So
something that's probably a bit more appropriate for the podcast. I love it.
Yeah, we did it last with into League Two. We did a prediction episode. We are going to do it differently this time, though. We are going to rank every team from 1 to 24.
I misheard you. I thought you said we were going to wreck every team, and I was like,
No,
Jesus
rank.
Christ.
So instead of having tiers this time, we're actually going to predict where these teams will finish.
I like it.
And so we'll see what we do, what we come up with next week. That'll be an interesting one if you wanna watch that.
Should be good.
I believe there's a couple things in the works as well. I'm doing a few things with a few other people as well, and and our song that Adrian released is coming along very well. It is now at a stage I call complete. I just got to start making the music video. So stay tuned for that one. It'll be a absolute banger. So that's it, I think, for this week. If you want to become a fuckhead, if you want to become part of our Patreon program, links will be in the description down below. Guys, have an amazing week. On a sad note, my thoughts and prayers go out to my family's dog who's actually being put down this week. So Sonny, rest in peace. Love you, mate. And beer brethren, Sheilas, fuckheads, and just all around legends. We'll see you on the next episode of the Two Beards Wrexham podcast. Let's go. Woo!